Hey guys, it's Kyle Thompson here with eXp Realty, bringing you another monthly market update. And this week we're going to be focusing on single family dwellings. Let's jump right into it. All right, so at a glance, we had 175 new listings, 82 new sales. The average list price was $786,533. The average sale price was $762,084. Average sale price to list ratio was 96.95. Average days on market was 49, and we ended the month with an inventory of 477 units. So let's take a look first at what that does to the market conditions. I like to use both the monthly supply of inventory method as well as the sales to new listing ratio, as I find using both measures gives a more complete picture of what's going on in the market. With that said, when using the monthly supply of inventory method, we came in at 5.68, which puts us into a neutral market. If we use the sales to new listing ratio instead, we come in at 47%, which also puts us into a neutral market. Now let's jump over and take a look at the active inventory last month. For the fourth month in a row, new listings were on decline, falling from 180 in August down to 175 in September. When we look at new sales, we see that it's a similar trend, only for 5 months instead, falling from 85 in August down to 82 in September. If we look at the expireds though, month over month, there was a large jump from 52 all the way up to 70, and that is the highest amount of expired listings per month over the last 12 months. Also, the benchmark price for a home fell $1,900 from $664,300 down to $662,400. Now, let's take a look at the end of month inventory. Last month, we ended the month with an inventory of 477, which is about 16% below the 10-year average this time of year of 412. Now, let's take a look at new listings year to date. So far, we've had 1,726 new single-family dwellings, which is pretty well on par with the 10-year average of 1,718. If we take a look at units sold instead, we see that the terrible year for sales continues. So far, we've only had 815 new single-family dwelling sales, which is 23% below the 10-year average of 1,055. Now let's jump over at this, take a look at the sales dashboard, starting off with the average sale price. This table is measuring year-over-year changes, so a full year over a full year. And when looked at that way, prices are actually up 3.41% in aggregate, with the most expensive areas of town being Sun Peaks, Tobiano, and Knutsford, with an average sale price ranging from just over $1 million up to just over $1.5 million. The cheapest areas of Kamloops are Red Lake, Paul Lake, and Monty Lake, all with an average sale price of just over $500,000 down to $479,000. Now let's take a look at the sale to list price ratio. So all this is a measure of how much properties are selling below the list price on average. So it's a good proxy for how much negotiating room you have when you are the buyer. And last month we had a big spike up. We actually went up 1.23%, which is a fairly big rise, meaning that there is less negotiating room when you are the buyer. Now, let's take a look at sales by sub-area. Once again, this table is measuring full year over full year, and when looked at that way, sales are essentially flat. It's only 3 sales different, which is 0.03% down. As far as what areas are up and which ones are down, it's a bit of a mixed bag, and if you would like to take a closer look, feel free to pause the video. I'm going to move on to average days on market. So let's start off with the 10-year. So far, year to date, it's taken an average of 46 days for single-family dwellings to sell, which is 1 day above the 10-year average of 45. If we take a look at the trailing 12 months instead, we see that in September, it took 49 days, an average of 49 days for properties to sell, which is 1 day below the 12-month trailing average of 50. Now, let's finish off by taking a look at days on market by sub-area. Once again, this is measuring full year over full year. And when looked at that way, in aggregate, it's essentially flat again at 48 days. Currently, the fastest areas of town to sell are Westmont and Brocklehurst, with an average days on market of under 40, whereas the areas taking the longest to sell are Sun Peaks, Paul Lake, Tobiano, and Red Lake, all with an average days on market of 82 up to 100 days. So to sum things up, In terms of sales, we are having an abysmal year. We are on track to have the worst year in a decade, and that comes off of last year, which was already the worst year in a decade. In terms of prices and days on market, we're actually holding in fairly well, and I do expect the market to continue to slow down as we move into the winter months. That's all we have for today. I really hope that you guys are continuing to get value out of these market updates. If you are, consider liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel. And as always, if you feel like there are some things that weren't explained thoroughly enough, or you would like something added to these market updates, please feel free to leave your comments or suggestions in the comment section below, and I will get to them as soon as I'm able. Thanks for watching.